Wednesday. I think either March 25th or 26th, 2025. We're in downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota. We'll do a little walk around here for a bit, see what we see. Just exited the Capella Tower. That's what the view inside was for the first few seconds there. So yeah, let's take a walk around and see what we see. I am kind of doing a trial run on this new gimbal I got. So if you saw the last video I posted, which was on Sunday, was a ride on the new Gold Line train, or not train, but BRT line. So the Gold Line BRT, Bus Rapid Transit, opened up there in St. Paul to Woodbury over the weekend. And I took a ride on that, and I don't know if it was the phone or the gimbal or what, but it kept tracking to the cars on the freeway coming towards us. And I was having trouble getting the gimbal to straighten out, and it was kind of functioning kind of funky. And I was moving it, and then eventually I couldn't get it to turn, and the joystick had come disconnected and was no longer working. So that one broke. I took it apart, tried to find where the issue was inside of it, but it was just a piece of plastic that had come undone and was not replaceable. So I got this new gimbal, and we'll see how it does today. Hopefully it's not too jerky or shaky for everyone. We're outside of the Hennepin County Government Center now. I'm trying to walk in a direction where I feel like I walk a lot on Nicollet Mall and Hennepin, that area of downtown Minneapolis, so I'm trying to go a different way today. But it is downtown Minneapolis, so it's not super big, and probably end up in some familiar spots. We've got the County Government Center there on the left, the Public Services Center on the right, and then City Hall straight ahead. See, gimbal's keeping pretty steady. I feel like it's moving more than the old one, so might have to make some adjustments there. Maybe that's to the mode or some sort of setting I have on it. But the default just turn it on setting seems to be pretty smooth. Slimy Cheesecake is here today. Hello, Slimy Cheesecake. They said we should go protest. What are we protesting today? Plenty of things to protest. I saw yesterday some teachers and supporters of special education in public education showed up to a Minneapolis Public Schools budget meeting yesterday, and were advocating for prevention of cuts to staffing in special education and for the kids with advanced and different needs in our schools, and how I think they had seen that some of that staff might have been set to be cut, and they showed up to that budget meeting to speak up about that, which I'm fully in support of. I understand the Minneapolis public school system is in a pretty bad budget situation here, and we do need to figure out a way to make those numbers match up a little bit better. Can't be having as large of a budget shortfall as there currently is. but I do not think doing so on the backs of the students who need extra attention is the proper way to do it. Hopefully we can find a way to get the proper funding to help our kids thrive and help our community thrive, keep the kids educated and involved in their education. Slimy says, every scrub who sends kids to school on their birthday is a scrub. See, that's why I had kids in the summer. I've got 2 kids, and they're both born in the middle of summer, so they'll never have to worry about going to school on their birthday, unless they're doing some kind of summer school thing. Got to plan ahead to prevent upsetting kids from having to go to school on their birthday. I have a summer birthday. I don't think I ever went to school on my birthday. Slimy says their birthday is also in summer. Specifically late August. You see, in the wrong place, that could be outside of Minneapolis or Minnesota, that could be a school day. In a lot of places, kids go back to school a lot earlier. I was in California, we started school in mid-August. Here, I think it's because they have so many like student employees or something working the state fair and the different public pools and stuff. And I think that's part of the reason why they have a different school schedule here. Cafelc7 says, hi, wow, it don't look that cold. Sure enough, yeah, no, not bad at all. I think we're in the 40s or so. Great day to zip around downtown on your scooter. Zing! I'm sure that the Lime scooters will be back in the coming weeks or months. Hopefully weeks and not months. It's almost April. We got to get those Lime scooters and Lime bikes back. But yeah, I think it's mid 40s or 50s today. Not bad at all. Very reasonable. At night we've still been getting chilly. Some of those like 30s and 20s. But daytime, we have no issues weather-wise. The press box here on the corner of South 4th Ave and 3rd Street. Shocking spot that's been here it's been vacant for a long time, at least 5-10 years. I feel like this is a prime spot for development in downtown Minneapolis. Slimy says they are terrified to ride scooters on the street and always worried that a car won't see me, and bam, they get it. Hit. Yeah, it is a bit unnerving. And you can ride in the bike lanes. You're not supposed to ride on the sidewalks, but everybody does. It's yeah, the risks out here. But yeah, I like to ride them around. I feel like people are pretty aware, but as with everything, you know, it takes one person not paying attention, looking at their phone, or a little bit of road rage, and then you get hit. Terrifying stuff, yeah. Hopefully someday there'll be a infrastructure of protected lanes around downtown Minneapolis, so you can at least scoot around on there and have less places to be exposed when you're on there. I know the city and county are working to get as many of those put in as possible in the right places, like here. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right. Nice one-way raised bike lane on Washington Ave right here. Whoa! Getting in the way of the cargo biker. We do everything in the kitchen sink. Better call Bonfy. Is that their commercial? That was so cool. That person was in the bike lane and they had a friend, or in a cargo bike, and they had a friend with them in the front part. I am super excited to try out a cargo bike soon. There's that Minneapolis cargo bike library that just launched, and they're hosting an orientation soon. I'm excited to go see that and get on the list of people to rent out one of their free cargo bikes and see how that turns out. Maybe I'll do a live stream from the cargo bike. Oh, this guy is stressed. Maybe I'll stay away from him. Chelsea says, glad I caught it live. What part of your town are you in today? So this is between downtown and the Mill District. So this is Washington Avenue in downtown Minneapolis at 5th and Washington. The river is like 2 blocks down that way, which is the direction I'm going in. There's just some guy like punching the street pole and stuff over there, so I'm good on going that direction. Go by the Eagle. Slimy Cheesecake says we need more safety in the bike lanes. Yeah, I prefer streets with protected bike lanes, both when I'm biking and when I'm driving. I do not like driving with bikes in the street as much, and I don't like biking intermixed with cars. I like to be left alone. Slimy said they saw it on a billboard. No, they saw a cement block. You know what to do. That is in reference to the person who put a cement block in front of a light rail train, I believe, which I would like to say was not me. I'm not sure if it was Slimy Cheesecake or not at this point. They seem to be pretty drawn to it. If I was an investigator looking for the person who did that, they would be on my short list. But I don't know. No. I think they got the person who did that. I don't know. Maybe they did. Nah, they got turned around quickly. Who knows? We will not be derailing any light rail trains. And if we were, I wouldn't stream it. So yeah, I just crossed over Washington there. That brings us to the Mill District here. A lot of the old flour mills. There's museums. Guthrie Theater over here. Very nice, walkable, livable area. Lots of apartments and townhomes. The Sarasota sour flying. Got a couple commuters going by here. I am a big fan of this bike lane. I know some people don't like it, but I like the having the cars as a protection or as a buffer between the street and the bike lane. I know that there's some visibility issues around that. And I hear it, I see it. But I like that style of bike lane where you're separate. Slimy Cheesecake says they just really like the incidents like that. They're so odd and make you go, how and why? Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's a video out there somewhere, because downtown Minneapolis, there's so many cameras at all times of someone dragging that however they did in front of that light rail track. One's got some Hulk strength in them when they're pulling on that thing. Right down here along the Mississippi River, West River Parkway. So this person's got the idea. Gonna go look out at the bridge at the Mississippi River. Dwayne Ladka says, greetings from Edmonton, Alberta. Hello, Dwayne in Edmonton. Hopefully it is a nice day in Edmonton. Winter has passed there, or is close to it. Hopefully the end's in sight at least. I'm so excited for all of this to start growing again and be green. It's always, Dwayne says that's a nice river. I agree. Yeah, it's always nice to come out here and see the Mississippi River. It's beautiful. It's a integral part of Minneapolis. But woof, I think it was on Reddit the other day. I was reading. Someone was like, "What are the best things to see in March in Minneapolis?" And everybody's like, or I think they might have been talking about like day trips or something, and going up to like Duluth or something, and people are like, March is just one of the most difficult months in Minnesota, because everything's just like dead and hasn't started coming back yet. So everything's just brown and dormant. Soon it'll be green. But yeah, once the flowers start coming out, once the grass starts coming back in, the trees start growing again, we are excited. Dwayne says it's warmer up there, but winter will come back for a short time. Yeah, what do they say? I'm sure that there's a similar thought process up there, similar climate, where here they say you have winter, you have fool's spring, second winter, like third winter, second spring, and then finally, actually, after like 3 different times, there becomes actual spring, which lasts a week before the summer hits. You know summer's back when there's an ice cream truck in this parking lot. Slimy says, I am so excited, I'm sick of snow. Yeah, I agree. I would say I could take more snow if we had it. I'd rather have snow than this, but I get it. Yeah, snow and cold can be a bit frustrating, but there was a lot of stuff I wanted to do this winter that I didn't, end up making time for and didn't get time in for, so oh well, maybe next year. I feel like we didn't have a ton of snow on the ground this year. Like it melted pretty quickly, or I don't know. I could go for another nice snowstorm or two, just for funsies. Well, we got these bikers going by, reminding me of, so next month is April, and in April, this, I'm pretty sure it's the guy in Minneapolis, Patrick, who started it, this thing called 30 Days of Biking, where you just get out on your bike at some point, you can set a goal, whatever it is, and you just get out on your bike every day in April if you can. So you're trying to build those habits, whether you want to ride 10 miles a day, just get on the bike at all, or have some 20, 30 longer mileage goal or a time goal. But the idea is just trying to ride your bike every day in April. I'm sure there's some sort of like reasoning or transportation initiative behind it, and probably a lengthy thought process, as there often is, but I do it because it's fun and I like riding my bike, and I like doing things that I find fun. So I did it last year, and I'm excited to do it again. Probably do a couple bike streams in April. Maybe a summary of all the rides I do for the month at some point. Dwayne says, more snow and colder weather in Alberta. Alberta has a similar climate to Colorado. Yeah, the moisture is good for the farmers and the plants. Icy conditions aren't good though. That frozen tundra keeps it hard to grow. Yeah. I think the freezing and thawing is good for the maple syrup farmers. There's just a maple syrup event at MLK Park in South Minneapolis, but I think I was out of town or something that day. I don't remember what I did, but I didn't go to it. I've been looking into it. Going underneath the 3rd Street Central Ave Bridge, which if you watch back some of the earlier Walking Minnesota videos, those are the bridge is under construction that whole time. It's kind of neat watching that project go from start to finish. Who's riding with that kid? Oh, maybe the runner. I don't know. Or maybe they're just riding ahead and leaving their grown-up behind. There's one thing I've learned from riding. Oh yeah, that sounds like it. They're hollering at him. There's one thing I've learned from doing bike bus and leading kids bike rides is that they like to ride away. They want to be in front. They want to go fast, and they can be hard to wrangle. Oshi Ashe says, hey, what's Minnesota like? I might be moving there soon. Minnesota is wonderful. So currently this is like our drab time of year. Everything's brown and dead still, but soon all of this will be green and full of life. You have the beautiful Mississippi River starting in northern central Minnesota, moving all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. I think Minnesota is a wonderful state, very livable. You have whatever type of lifestyle you're looking for, there's going to be likely similar people. If you're looking for country living and something kind of quiet, there's a lot of nice rural areas, a lot of historic small towns. If you're looking for that small town living, in the cities themselves, here in Minneapolis and St. Paul, you have a great food scene, a great art scene, incredible hiking and walking and nature trails, great bike infrastructure. Traffic is very reasonable for drivers. I don't know, it's a very, very pleasant place to live overall. I think we complain about the winter because it's cold, and it is cold and easy to complain about, but overall, Minnesota is a very pleasant place to live. And I'm sure there's probably some scene that someone is involved in and is like, no, I moved to Minnesota and I can't find anyone who does this. And that person's going to send me an email and call me a liar. And that's okay. I'm sorry for misspeaking and not representing whatever it is. But hopefully if that group does exist and you can find them. Axel says, I'm trying to get there myself, applying for jobs within the city right now. Hey, good luck. The job hunt is brutal and so difficult in this era of what's a real job, what's an automated job posting, am I actually talking to a recruiter, am I talking to an AI chatbot? You're sending in these video interviews and they're give you a prompt and you have to respond via video immediately. It's interesting, all sorts of weird stuff in the job market right now, and it's super competitive. So I wish you best of luck in finding the right job that you can do and you can sleep at night and you can get a pay that helps you live the life you want to live. And I hope you can make that same wish for me. Oshi says, thanks, apart from it getting really cold, sounds great so far. Absolutely, like it's, I mean, it really does have it all except for mountains. I will say the mountains. If you're a big mountain person, maybe not the place for you. But we've got hills, some nice bluffs, a little bluff. But the huge mountains, not so much. But lots of great farming. There's a lot of like connection between the agricultural world and the rural world and the city here. And it's I think there's a little bit of respect there that's shown a lot more than you see through people on the internet who try to like create this divide between urban and rural Minnesota. I know I have a lot of respect for people who are doing farming and living in small towns and helping those places thrive and running small businesses in small towns. It's a whole different world and not the world that I would want to live in, but we need people living in that world to help our society thrive. Autumn says, hey, just moved here a few months ago and your channel helped me feel more familiar with the area. So I wanted to say thanks for what you do. Hey, thank you, Autumn. Absolutely love hearing stuff like that. It makes me feel cool. Like I'm doing something that's helpful to people. So appreciate that. And I hope you're getting settled in well, finding places you enjoy, building a community, and making lots of great friends. We got Dwayne says, in Minnesota, the rivers go in all directions. They eventually lead to the west and Montana, north to Manitoba, east to the Atlantic, and south to the Gulf of Mexico. Yeah, you really have them splitting kind of all ways here. DDS Curtis says, lovely day. Oh, Dwayne, Lake Superior is really cool from pictures and videos I've seen. Oh yeah, Lake Superior is amazing. I think oceans are obviously incredible, and I love being by the ocean, but there's something special and unique about Lake Superior and this massive saltless sea, to where there's just this energy that comes off the lake and around like the cities like Duluth and Superior and up along the North Shore, and even in these lakeside towns from Chicago to Michigan. You know, it's these Great Lakes do have an energy to them that I think is very cool. It's not the same as an ocean, but they're Great Lake cities, and it's something unique and special, and I think everyone with an interest in traveling should visit both Chicago and Duluth, Minnesota at some point in their life, because both different cities, both lakeside and completely different styles there based on size and everything, but Wonderful places. Minnesota has a long history that goes back to traders and explorers. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Maud says, my family and I are moving to this city soon from out of state. Appreciate your videos, and I appreciate being able to get the vibes before we were there. Awesome. Yeah, well, best of luck with your move, and thanks for sharing that. Hopefully you get a good footing and don't get lost too much walking around right away. Well, actually, I kind of like getting lost sometimes, so it's good to get lost occasionally. But when you do, it's good to have that GPS or Google Maps or Apple Maps. I don't know. I think we were supposed to delete. People were saying to delete either Google Maps or Apple Maps because they put Gulf of America on there the other day. I don't remember which one it was. Would you say Minnesota has a dry or humid summer? So in my opinion, it is humid. If you're from the South, it's not humid. I am from Northern California, and the summers there were like 100, 110 degrees and dry, very, very dry. And I've spent some time in the Nevada desert as well, very, very dry. But here, sometimes you have these like 80, 90 degrees high humidity days, which are 20 degrees cooler than what I was used to there. And my goodness, that humidity is something. Occasionally you'll get those like 90 plus degree humid days. And I'm a sicko, so I'll try to go for a run on a day like that and experience the humidity at its worst, sweat it all out. It's a good time. Yeah, D.D. Curtis says we do get some humidity. That is part of it. It's not like excruciating every year. I think I've been here 6 or 7 years now, and I've had maybe a few days where I've been like, oh my goodness, we got to stay inside. It is nasty out there in terms of heat. But it's nothing like some cities where you see consistent high humidity all summer long. Dwayne says Minnesota has a lot of good lakes for fishing, has many different things for people to do, rural and urban, want to visit in the future. Absolutely. It has a great sea. I think people love fishing and camping, and it's such an affordable state. People love getting those like lake houses, spending their weekends at their cabin. Hey, another Rinlin Martinez says, I'm moving there this weekend for work from the Philippines, and I really enjoy watching your videos. Hey, I'd love to hear that. Welcome to Minnesota, and good luck moving. Hopefully that goes smoothly, and hopefully you find yourself in a great neighborhood and happy with the place that you end up. And maybe Minnesota ends up being a place that you stick around with even if you change jobs. D.D. Curtis says, definitely not like Texas. Is Texas pretty humid? I've only been through Texas, I think, in like spring, so never really experienced summer there. Anybody in Minnesota really needs a reliable vehicle because it's a big state, and you will enjoy life better when you don't have to rely on others for transportation. Yeah, that's, I wouldn't say need. I would say it's nice to have. I think the bus system and the train system in Minneapolis is rapidly improving, and in St. Paul, to where if you're here in the urban center and you get around by bus and bike, and then you can get like, what is it? I think is it Our Car or EV? There's a couple car shares that you can do for a subscription. So if you want to get out of the cities for a day, you can rent one of these services. And I think that's a really cool option, because I do know a lot of people that live without cars, and they seem pretty happy and they seem to be doing it all right. But I do think it's more difficult to live car-free in Minneapolis than it is in, San Francisco or New York or some other places. But yeah, it's, with the current infrastructure and the current setup here, having a car is very, very nice. Being able to take day trips to wherever you want to go, like if you want to hop in the car and go out to St. Cloud or Duluth or wherever for a day or two, is nice having that option. I've never used EV or Our Car or whatever. I think it's called Our Car. Either of those car share programs. But kind of want to try one and maybe make a video for it for the channel, just to show people who are visiting or moving one of those options. See, I mentioned earlier, I'm going to refrain from going on Nicollet or Hennepin because that's where I always go. And I wasn't even thinking, and here we are again. Nicollet Mall. Dee Curtis says, yes it is, couldn't handle it. That's the humidity in Texas. Yeah. Does it get less hot there then? Or no, I think it gets hotter and more humid both. There's a decent amount of pedestrian foot traffic on Nicollet Mall, comparatively speaking to what we've seen recently. Dove Angel says, well, yeah, transportation bad at all, but then it can be optional. But having your own vehicle raises the bar up in quality of life. Definitely. Very nice to have. I have a car. I love it. I think I've talked about this a few times, but the current plan moving forward on Nicollet Mall is looking more and more like the city and the downtown council have decided. What are we honking about? Somebody wants to get over and you didn't like that? Dove Angel 1 says, I'd like to see that. Well, hopefully I can make it. Hubert says, hello, Minneapolis is one of the best downtowns in the country. Love to hear that. I think it does have a pretty nice downtown area here. Mansize says, lived in Minneapolis for 20 years and never needed a vehicle. Yeah, very nice. Definitely don't need it. It's a nice to have. And in some cases, like if you live down here and don't have a spot, and if you don't have a garage, like it's downright can be a bit of a nuisance. That's how it was in San Francisco as well, where sometimes there's more of a pain to have a car than not. But when you're trying to like get out of town, if you want to spend your weekends at Lake Minnetonka fishing or something, like or at like a cabin fishing, I think that's a different lifestyle than I live though. Dwayne says, how would you find the drivers in Minneapolis overall? I think they're pretty comparable to how they were in the Bay Area. I feel like everywhere I go, people say that they have the worst drivers and drivers are terrible. And I think it's just driving is one of those things that brings out the worst in a lot of us, myself included. Like I'll be sitting behind a car and just like be getting frustrated for the most minor thing. And you'll see things like people freaking out, like when you're driving somewhere and there's gonna be like a 30-second or 1 minute change to your traffic pattern due to a safety improvement that's gonna prevent likely multiple people from getting hit every year, and those 2 minutes are not worth it to you. You see angry stuff, but you see that everywhere, you know? It's yeah, they're talking about moving all the buses off of Nicollet Mall here and completely pedestrianizing it, which I'm not sure I'm on board with that. I think there are a lot of things to improve about Nicollet Mall, and I think that many of the changes they brought up will be positive improvements and will make it better. But I don't think a lot of people are coming downtown going, you know why I'm not hanging out on Nicollet Mall? Because of that bus. You know why I'm not going to Five Guys? Because of there's a bus on Nicollet Mall. I've never heard anyone say that. It's just not a thing. Well, maybe it is. Maybe there's groups that I'm not in that are saying that sort of thing. Watch this blue line train go by. Dove says, lived in the suburbs and driven all over the Twin Cities when I raised my kids back when gas was affordable. Yeah, definitely living in the suburbs. I think the bus line improvements have been massive over the last few years. Man Size said they would, we're gonna go back here. Curtis says when there's days with off-street parking can be a pain trying not to get towed. Oh yeah, whether it's like if there's like snow plowing or they do a few days of street cleaning every year. I think they put the signs up and then like 24 hours later they tow people. The notice is a little bit short and I see a lot of people getting towed every time. It's a bit frustrating to manage. Like you think if what I used to do, which you weren't supposed to do, don't tell anybody, but when I had a car in San Francisco and I lived downtown, there was a point when I would drive out to the avenues like outside of the downtown area and just park my car there for a week and hope for the best and then come move it on before every street cleaning day. And it was quite the effort to keep a car in a place where keeping a car was not really necessary. Man Size says they would rent or carpool. Absolutely, yeah. Like it's very doable. Very livable without a car. Are you going to Open Doors this year? Hopefully. I think last year I might have gone to one event or something with my kids, but I'll see this year. I do love Open Doors Minneapolis. So anybody who's unfamiliar, there's a program, I think it's in early May, tends to be. It's called Doors Open or Open Doors Minneapolis. And a lot of like historic buildings throughout the city of Minneapolis that are typically private are opened up to the public, and there's all sorts of different stuff you can see, places you can go, and there's sometimes some of them are guided, so you can learn from people with experience about them, or people who work there will tell you about what they do there. But it's always a very fun experience. Yeah, hope to get out to some this year. Definitely, if you're checking Minneapolis out typically it's in early May. I think like one of those weekends in early May. Highly recommend checking that out. Dove says driving is a rodeo in the Twin Cities. Tell your riders to hang on and don't be shy and follow the rules. Yeah, it can be a bit aggressive. It can be a bit intense. I will say, I think it has been a bit frustrating. I think it's gotten better in the last year or two. In like 2020, 2021, 2022, the red light violations in this city were baffling. I mean, you still see some, and like I'm still surprised by the amount of people who just drive right through a red light and don't even think twice. Even like when there's traffic coming through in the other direction, they'll just go straight through the intersection, just not caring. I don't understand how you can live like that and not be afraid to die. But that's definitely improved a lot in the last 2 years or so. I don't know why. I think it's just people getting back out in the streets as opposed to how vacant things were in 2020. But we'll see. I think we're getting automated stoplight enforcement here in a few parts of the city. I think there's going to be, I don't know, was it like 5 or 10 that got approved? There's going to be automated red light and speed cameras throughout the city in the coming months. So we'll see how that works, hopefully to mitigate some of those reckless driving habits that are not a joy to be around. Freeway traffic, I would say, is pretty much similar to everywhere else. You're going to have a few people trying to speed, trying to weave through you, and always a bit unnerving. Whoa, I'm falling way behind on the chat here. I'm getting too tangential on everything everyone says. Good and bad drivers exist everywhere. Minneapolis has the Mall of America, North America's largest shopping mall, along with West Edmonton Mall, the same owners. Oh, I didn't know that. Cool. Dav says when they worked in downtown, or when they went downtown, they parked in the Dayton's parking ramp, even with kids in strollers. Right back there, right? Or no, yeah, right here. Here's Dayton's. CV bien. What are good areas for prospective UMN students? I'd say that like Prospect Park, Marcy Holmes, the areas around the university there's a lot of good housing for students. Definitely close to campus where you can walk or bike, or if you're going to be a student, I think there's a student bus system too you can use to get around. I would definitely not recommend driving around campus because parking is a pain. I think more difficulty than it's worth. El Dudorino says, love your walk and talks. Lived here 35 years, north and west burbs, and very good to have chosen Minneapolis. Top tier city, top tier art city without the issues of Chicago, NYC, SF. Yeah, I think, I agree. It's got a great art scene. Free ride. See, why are we gonna get rid of the free bus ride? The Radisson Ramp, living in downtown after raising their kids. D.D. Curtis says, does the Walker Center still have their free third week of the month days? I believe they have free Thursday nights. I don't know if it's every Thursday night or just the third Thursday night of the month, but they have some sort of an event on Thursdays where they have free Thursdays. I think there's also a free second Saturday of the month or something like that. So they have a daytime one, which there's typically family events and kids events there, and then the third day. So if you've been watching the stream for a while, this channel for a while, you know I talk a lot about how there's not enough public seating and not enough places to just be on Nicollet Mall. So they opened this up around December of this year, and now every time I walk by, I try to post up and have a sit for a few minutes just to support there being open seating here. Take a right on 7th, park at the Dayton Radisson, walk a block to First Ave. There you go. I feel like street parking, if you're willing to walk like 2 or 3 blocks, is fairly easy to find in downtown Minneapolis. It's parking. You got to pay for it. Mansize says these streets used to be packed with pedestrians and employees. Yeah, it's a lot less people working downtown, and then you look around, you look at all the buildings, and if you look straight across the street, you see pictures of people inside the Skyway with their renovations, but most of these storefronts and businesses along Nicollet Mall don't have Nicollet Mall facing entrances or places to sit along the outside along the mall. So there's this weird push and pull between Nicollet Mall and the Skyway system, where we have to decide, are we going to be a Skyway city where we want people in the Skyway all year round, or do we want people on Nicollet Mall? Because do we have the foot traffic to maintain these businesses along Nicollet Mall if we're going to have people in the Skyway? Do we have the foot traffic to do it the other way around? I don't know. But moving buses off of Nicollet Mall isn't going to make people want to be here. Having a nice cafe directly in front of us would be the type of thing that makes people want to be here. Having a spot where I can sit outside with a friend and sip a cup of coffee and chat for an hour is the type of place that we need along Nicollet Mall if you want people to be here. There's just got to be stuff for people to do and see and just exist around here, to where right now it's an empty street because the street's empty, right? Like there's this bench that I believe is put up by the Minneapolis Public Seating Authority. There's this person who makes these benches and then puts them around the city, and I think they've had a few of them moved, but they do have tags inside of them so they can see where people are moving them to. But yeah, they saw the lack of seating along Nicollet and put these benches out here. Cafel says, I like Min, the vibe of it fits me totally. I'd love the hockey stuff, but not much people around. Yeah, I mean, I think one thing I've noticed, I talked about this a bit earlier too, when it comes to Minnesota, a lot of people, there's like this culture around the weekend lake house, to where a lot of people who really love Minneapolis and Minnesota will spend their days here and will enjoy the city during the week and maybe go out to a bar or restaurant in the week, but they like to spend their weekends up at their cabins. And you think there's cabin traffic every weekend because there's thousands and thousands of people going up to their cabins every weekend, and those are all people who are not spending their money and not spending their time at these businesses throughout the city of Minneapolis on those days, right? So how do we either need more people that are going to be in the cities on weekends, so attracting more people to live in the city, or have a cultural shift to where the people who do live here want to spend their time here on weekends. Because if you have, thousands and thousands of people moving moving out of the city every weekend to go somewhere else, it's going to be harmful to your local businesses. But I think that's a huge part of Minnesota culture, though, is being able to spend those time up at those lakes and getting bit by mosquitoes and having a second home where managing all that stuff. I don't know what the right thing to do is. I think there needs to be a way to where we have both, right? Because as more people move here, the cabins are gonna become more and more exclusive, right? Oh, we got this new sign and this new this area is under surveillance. You are being recorded. Consuming alcohol in public is a crime. Minneapolis City Ordinance 364.40. Violators are subject to prosecution in a court of law. Citizens can report illegal activity by calling or texting 911. So you got that. And then you got the surveillance cameras out here. Which these were really prevalent in 2020. These were all over. And some of them you'd walk near them and they would make a little sound like, "This is being monitored." And then you've got the officer in their vehicle standing right here waiting too. Yeah, this corner here is now highly highly monitored. Used to be a handful of people hanging out here all the time, but I don't know if that's Target wanted that and they had the city do it, or Strive Bookstore, or Downtown Improvement District, or what, but yeah. That has effectively cleared out the crowd of people that were on the corner, which is interesting because there's that sign about, drinking alcohol in this area is a crime and you can be punished under the law and code XYZ. But a big part of one of the proposals under the new plan for downtown Minneapolis is allowing public consumption of alcohol along Nicollet Mall once they remove the buses for certain events and stuff, I guess. It sounds like we're getting some mixed messages, some confusing messages here, so hopefully can get that sorted out. Man-Size says must have been a lot of church groups meeting up. Corner, probably the best grocery store downtown. Taxes, yeah. It's true. When you're thinking about these things, there's all sorts of different things that go into it. And Man-Size says because people were sleeping on them. If you were to choose a condo near downtown, which neighborhood? Seems North Loop is hip and hopping. Uptown is a mess. Depends. Are you buying, or I guess condo typically buying? But Uptown is. Uptown obviously is coming back from that recent construction. They have there was some damage a few years ago in the riots, and then a lot of those businesses in central Uptown left. I think buying right now in Uptown might not be a bad choice because there's going to be. We just saw, I think it was yesterday, Minneapolis St. Paul Business Journal published that someone just bought that new Apple store. So the Apple store Uptown just has a new, is likely going to have new tenants soon. You have the 7 Points across the street, formerly Calhoun Square. It's going to undergo renovation in the coming years. You have those new infrastructure changes to make it like this more pedestrian-friendly area. I mean, if all that works out, could be some nice discounts over there right now. I don't know. I have not looked at the housing market over there to see if the housing market reflects some of the doom and gloom you see on the television news and angry people at community meetings. But North Loop is cool. I think a lot of restaurants in that area. It's hard to beat that if you're looking for like a young, walkable neighborhood. Only downfall of North Loop is the lack of grocery, but you do have the Whole Foods there. A lot of good stuff in North Loop, in Northeast, Central Hennepin area. A couple nice ones in the Mill District. Anywhere in that kind of area, I would probably be drawn towards if I was looking at a condo. I might look at the Sioux Line building just because I love that building and it's in downtown Minneapolis. It's old, I guess not that old, but a condo conversion. So a old office building converted to condos. DDS says Mill District for sure. Yeah, some of those like apartments we were walking by earlier, that's the good stuff. I love that area. Nice and quiet, but also still restaurants and still activity on weekends to where you've got that farmer's market there. See, the thing about North Loop is you've got all the, young people out on weekends partying out at the bars till 2 a.m. and you're gonna get woken up by those people, and if that's the sort of thing that's gonna make you cranky, you gotta be ready for that. Especially if you're gonna live right there on Washington. I don't know, it's all about finding what fits your personality and what you're looking for and the type of neighborhood that is best for you. I mean, some people are looking for really quiet, and maybe some other areas might be a better fit. Come on, not that much what? Uh-oh, am I exaggerating something again? And it's beautiful with all the buildings and all. Mill Districts is nice, yeah. I'm wondering what I was exaggerating on there. Hopefully Man Size here can elaborate for me. DD says, oh yeah, not much partying. DG says Mill District always fit me. Yeah, Man Size is correct. There are maybe like 5 locations where there's people out at night lined up outside the bars and stuff, but certainly more than some other areas. But still not much at all, considering what you see in many other cities, and it's not like a super active neighborhood. And the partying is fairly respectful and quiet, as we notoriously just heard about from anybody who watched Love is Blind. That's kind of been the talk of the city lately, is because Minneapolis was featured on there. So we love to see Minnesota featured in anything, and it's been all over the news talking about that. And one of the things that seems to be prevalent is that the nightlife was lacking in Minneapolis. Yeah, get the Uptown bargain. Only been to the Uptown Theater and Red Cow recently. Nothing at Calhoun Square, 7 Corners now. Love the lakes for a walk run, but North Loop, so many dining entertainment options. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I mean, North Loop, you're so close to the Mississippi. You can walk around that trail we were just on earlier along the river. You can walk the Heritage Trail. Uptown, you can walk around the chain of lakes. There's just so many good choices. It's definitely a good problem to have. The Minneapolis Convention Center over here. Still need to get in there one of these days. I don't think I've ever made a video walking around the convention center. And you know, some of these people who are visiting the convention center are like, what's up with the Minneapolis Convention Center? And they're looking at Google and YouTube and putting that into their AI chat bot, trying to get information about it before they come visit. So yeah, either me or one of the other Minnesota walking people should make a video of that convention center. Maybe someone already did. I don't know. O'Shea says, yes, I saw Minneapolis was on Love is Blind, and I thought it was a fun coincidence since I might be moving there. Have you seen any of the cast in person? I don't know. I haven't watched it. I've seen like a few clips, but not enough to where I would recognize the people if I saw them in public. I do have some coworkers who like know some of the people, and I think that's one of the things people talked about is how like small and interconnected Minnesota is. Man says, we hosted 35 keg parties on De La Salle Island back in the day, no problem. There you go. Nicollet Island, that's a fun one. I haven't walked on Nicollet Island in like 2 years. I need to get out there again. And then Click Mom says, is Loring Park still dangerous? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I walk through there occasionally and ride my bike through there all the time. I haven't had any issues, but I do not keep in touch with that sort of thing as well as some people do, so not really sure. Not something I can really speak on because crime is not like something I keep up on. I do have the like city emails to where like if there's a crime spree, I get the memo from the police chief or whatever, you know, where we're gonna chase these kids down and we believe these juveniles did it and We have the information and we've activated our task force. But those are, not super often. But yeah, I walked through Loring Park without any issue, and I was actually just thinking today about a video I want to make in I was reading something there, in Loring Park in the coming months on a canoe out there, because I think there's like a canoe share on the lake in Loring Park, so you can do free canoe rentals and maybe go out and paddle around there sometime. Hi from Thunder Bay, still have snow there. Hey, I hope to make it up to Thunder Bay someday. Never been. Good to see you again, RJMB. Been to the convention center, standard stuff, mostly for food, car, RV shows. The food was good. Yeah, I think convention centers tend to be, convention centers, right? You're there more for whatever the thing is than the actual space itself, but maybe someone sees something on the news telling them like Minneapolis is this dangerous place, and you make a video walking around the convention center. Maybe that'll make them a little more comfortable before they come visit, or before they have their boss book that trip here. I don't know. The other 34 kegs in Camden, North Minneapolis. There we go. Man size sounds like a partier. I think we've established that one. Love Minneapolis. Living in Seattle now, but come out there for my birthday every year. Awesome. Have you explored that new Seattle Riverfront walking, or not river, the Soundfront walking area? They just opened that a few months back, and I remember I was visiting there a few years ago, and that was all under construction. It was first when they were tearing it out, and it was this massive project, and I've seen some videos and clips of it, and it looks beautiful. Man size says more of a host. There we go. Party's only as good as the host, right? I'll be flying out to Minneapolis next week. Hope to see you one day. I might be around Minneapolis a little bit next week. I will be out of town at one point in the week, and maybe making a video somewhere else, but we'll see. Sounds like Man Size is a great host. Absolutely. If you're looking for a total rager, hit up Man Size Nicollet Island Party. Didn't expect you to read my comment. Yeah, I try to read them all. It's luckily the chat is at a level to where I can keep up with it for the most part. But yeah, the waterfront area is super nice. Appreciate the shout out. Yeah. Hope to get out there sometime this year. I've got circling back to the convention conversation, there's a convention out there I'm trying to get my boss to speak at so I can go out there with him. But we'll see how that works. Oh, El Dorino says, reminds me, do you know the status of the first Ave outdoor amphitheater on the river? I don't think I've seen an update in a year or so, but I saw plans for it about a year back. Last I heard it was moving forward, but I don't know. I think there was some sort of like bridge or road changes, or there was some sort of infrastructure construction they were going to have to do before they move forward with that project, if I remember correctly. So it's, I don't know, these in the grand scheme of things, things move quickly. In like 10 years we'll look at that and it'll be completely changed. We'll be like, wow, this all happened so fast. So you blinked your eyes and like 5 years ago was the start of COVID, which seems like yesterday. But when you're watching these things on a daily basis, you're like, well, I haven't heard any updates for a year. It seems like this project has so many moving parts, and there's like, it's a multi-year, all these different parts of the project that we're gonna have to follow along with, and it's moving so slow. But then you realize, you know, it takes a lot of work to do all that and get everything approved and build out the infrastructure for it. So we'll see. For the record, Man Size Action was a post-punk group from Minneapolis. Nice. I'll have to check that out. Holding kegers on the island, playing the post-punk. I've heard of Man Afraid, the Minneapolis band. DD Curtis says, is that part of the renovation near the Stone Arch area? So there is renovation going on in the Stone Arch right now. It'll be going on next year too, but that part is not. No, that's a little bit further north. It is like north of Plymouth, I think, which the Plymouth Bridge is closing soon. One of these days when I'm working in North Loop, I'll do a walk up that direction. The development tracker, which is this site that I have followed on Instagram for a bit, they had this development map where they would keep updates on all these projects and fill it all out, and they still have that available. You just have to be a paid subscriber to their program or Patreon or whatever it is there, and they will keep you updated with all that stuff. Here's the Minneapolis Club. Man Size Action, interesting. Seems Husker Du Bob Mold oriented. Seeing Mold again soon. Nice. Hey, Man Size used to work at Minneapolis Club. There you go. Ameriprise bus stop. So this new gimbal, I'm realizing I don't have to, it's got a little joystick on it, but I don't have to use it as much. Like I can tilt this thing and it'll do it on its own for me, which is nice. There's probably some setting to where I can set it to where it'll keep a straight horizon instead of moving around as I move my hand, because I'm sure that might be a little dizzying. Terry Joe says, hi from Lagos, Nigeria. I'll be moving to Minneapolis in months and I'm super excited. Hey Terry, best of luck in the move. That's exciting to hear. Hopefully helping you get a footing in Minneapolis, and well, I guess you said, yeah, you did say Minneapolis, not Minnesota. Hopefully you find a great neighborhood to live in. Glad that you're moving here. DD says, love your walking streams. Always love having you in the chat here, DD Curtis. Good chatting with you every few weeks here. appreciate your presence and accompanying me. Man size says, great job. I believe that's to me. If so, thank you. But it sounds like you guys are picking up on the fact that I'm about to wrap it up. You know, you're telling me good job and stuff as I'm about to leave. So, yeah, we have made a little bit of a loop here. If you recall, we started right here at the Star Tribune Capella Tower building. I am going to go back in and head home. Got the Catalyst Insight Collective. Figure they left that there because they wanted it to be seen. So now you've all seen it. But thanks everybody for watching along. Probably won't have another live stream for another week or so at least, but maybe another video in the coming days. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Hope you all have a great rest of your day. If you have ideas for places I should walk around or record, send them to me in the comments or via email, and I'll take a look, maybe go do it. But yeah, thanks a lot, and I'll chat with you soon. Take care.